looking for a boyfriend, all kinds of rationalizations that you make in your head to act out, as they say, which I hate, but let's just say act out, like doing what I was doing is act out compared to the 12-step programs. Okay, so here I'm acting out like every day, you guys, every day for years. For, as I mentioned, those years, those few years, this swallowed up my life. Again, it was trysts, it was promiscuity, it wasn't necessarily cruising in the bushes. I had this weird notion in my head that if, I kept, seeking out these encounters, which equated to massive promiscuity at 16, 17, there's a lot of statutory rape that's going on, if you'll excuse the terminology, that people will never be aware of. I was 16, 17, okay, maybe I was 18, but please, please, you're 40, come on. If a 14-year-old and a 31-year-old is okay with you, then just, ignore all the Slaughter Princess stuff and all the other stuff, because that's reasonable, I guess, to you, meaning some of you. But it was not good for me. And all of this unaccounted for time was swallowed up by these trysts. And again, it wasn't bush holes. It was like meet up in these sort of concentrated areas, yes, Neiman Marcus, and then go to that person's place, because I had nowhere to go. I mean, what am I going to do? Bring them home, meet Liz? And that's a whole other story between my promiscuity and the knowledge to which my mother had about that promiscuity. We'll get to that some other time. But again, so this is up now off the charts, okay? Because it is consuming every hour of unaccounted for time in my life. So, figure it out, guys. School ends at 3. I'm unaccounted for a few hours. And my compulsion, and some of you will understand this in the epilogue of my book in terms of the nature of what's going down at this time. Again, set free unto the town and grabbing every opportunity I could. Again, not in bushes, but there's lots of other places to have tryst with people besides bushes and bookstores. And this was my MO. This was my modus operandi. It became a hunt. Ironically, with a lot of the promiscuity, it was about being tagged, flirted with. You go through that whole whatever, and then it is what it is. You can call it looking for boyfriends, but it was just heavy promiscuity anywhere I could get it. I didn't always go after it, but you live in LA, you tell me how much that's flying in your face all the time. Ooh, boy, I'd like to be with that woman. Well, also another unfortunate thing is that I did have some mini boyfriends, 16-ish, 17, 18, before Tim. And again, you have to remember, I'm married at this latter part of it. I was engaged at 19. But the irony is that all of these things that I'm telling you went down even through my marriage. Now, again, we know the nature of my marriage, so that's not a huge surprise. But to imagine me going through these multiple encounters and then going through a wedding and a marriage, coming out of recently getting a license, is a recipe for disaster. And it was. I'm not going to talk numbers, but do the math. If I'm doing that for hours on end throughout the week and getting lucky, the numbers are, let's just say they're well over 100, guys. Okay, so there you go. And I don't know what else to tell you. I wasn't just a slut. It was like this brain chemistry mixed with compulsion, mixed with this being the first time I could ever be who I was, even though I was still in the closet. And again, you drive communities into closets and back alleys and in their car and away from normal life, this is some of what you're going to get. You know, the gay community, you know, has this ridiculous, you know, assumption that gay men are just out there screwing everything, that we're more promiscuous. Well, you drive us into the ground behind rocks and closets and doors, yeah, that's what you're going to get. A lot of activity, subterranean activity, wherever and whenever you can get it. Except with me, it was getting a driver's license. And that's what ensued, you know, school stuff. I mean, I was still an honor student, and I was missing like auditions sometimes because I was so compelled to act out promiscuously. And that's just kind of it, you know, that's what hit me at 16. And it became a problem. All you guys that I dated, you know, in and around that time, like the few years before I met Tim, and after Johnny died, before I met my husband, again, there was this cycle that kicked in again. Suddenly I was 16 again. Suddenly I had a license again. And suddenly LA was open season for Sean until he calmed down a little. And then it flared up. Whatever, story of my life. Okay, I hope I didn't go into 20 minutes with this show. I probably did, but I'm sorry. And if you're here with me and run the gauntlet through this show, good on you. Okay, I'll let you go. You know what's coming up. More shows, more teasers, more clips, more everything about Sean. Stuff that he's never told anybody. And that's why I'm here, and that's what you're here for, I guess. Is it? What are we doing here? Okay, I love you. And thank you for putting up with me and my stories. And I am honored to have your time, always. And I'll see you. Okay, bye.